Hello everyone, it's Aaron here from Hollywood Gaming. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different in the sense that I'm going to go through Streamlabs OBS with you. As mainly it's for one of my friends who I always go into stream and I'm like, have you done this? Have you done that? And I said I'd make him a little video to show him how I do it. So first of all, I always run as administrator. Now what this does is it puts all the processing power to the front of the queue for Streamlabs OBS. Whereas if you don't run it as administrator, it basically gets the nitty bitty grits what's left after your game's been actually run. Now, if it's not set to run open as it starts, then simply right click on it, go to properties, and then in the shortcuts menu, click advanced, and then run as administrator, press OK, OK, and then every time you double click on it, it should automatically open it up as administrator. Now we've made it here. We are going into Streamlabs OBS. The first few things to do, I'm going to go into this bit in a second down here, but first of all, we'll go to this little settings icon in the bottom left, and the output, which here is where all your encoding settings and things like that lie. Now I'm not the best at all this information, however, I spent many weeks / months just going through it all and trying out different things. So in the output section, because I'm sure you've got your stream set up to where it's going, in the output section, the first thing to look at is its encoder settings. Now, in here I have NVENC new because I have a NVIDIA graphics card, so it goes through my graphics card. Now, sometimes I'm running really high on that, so I'm debating whether to try and switch up to software to see how it runs and performs on that. But it's all trial and error, so go on as you mean, and just if something's not working out, then change whatever you last had your settings to when it works well and go back to that. However, I use NVENC new. I keep this N4 streaming service encoder settings, I keep that unticked. Basically because I want these settings to be what they are and I don't want anything sort of tampering with that. Now, rate of control is CBR, which is constant bitrate. Now, the thing with this is, I've just had a look up on it, with recording video, you could use like VBR CQP, which is basically, it's not a constant bitrate for that channel, whereas streaming services they like to have something constant. So CBR is best for streaming, and if you're just recording video, you can change it to any of these basically. However, CBR for me, I keep it at that. And now for Twitch, in order to get 1080p, you need between 4000 bitrate and 6000 bitrate. Now you can go higher than that unless you're a partner or you get further on. However, I feel like 6000 is plenty enough. I stick at 5500 because I can seem to do that quite well and it works nicely for me. Moving on to keyframes here. Now this is set to 0 automatically, and what that does is it allows Streamlabs to pick the right keyframe number for you. Now this is all being well and good, however if you keep changing your games, for example, you might get a bitrate where a keyframe where it's different to that game, and it selects the wrong one because it does this at the beginning of the stream, so you're best off just setting that to 2. And what that means is every second there's 2 keyframe moments in that second, so it's a nice number for streaming and it works really well for that. For the rest of the settings, I just have quality. If they're not working out for you, it's a case of trial and error. So see what works for your PC and your specs. I'll just move on quickly to video. Now my base canvas, which is what I stream on my monitor, is a 4K screen, and the output is a 1080 because obviously I haven't got absolutely insane internet. And now I did have this Lanczos, I don't know how to say it, set before, and I just kept getting issues with it all the time. But if you've got a bigger screen and you want to go to a lower screen or a lower resolution, bilinear by far is the quickest, easiest, best way to do it. And obviously, depending on what thing is that, try and stick to 60 if you can. That's always the best option. And then finally, if you just go to add appearance, if you want to make sure this box here is checked, clicked, I was going to say checked, but there we are. And what that does is basically it puts on this bar across here so you can see the chat in there. I mean, it does come up on the right if you don't have that, but this one you can see if people actually write, like they can have like BTTV emotes, for example, and Francophase, and you can see them in this box here, whereas when you've got the old standard one without that, you don't see it. Now, most importantly, this is the thing where I go into a lot of streams and I feel like I'm the anarchist towards their stream, because what happens a lot of the time is I cannot hear the volume over the gameplay. And now for me, this is one of the big issues, because you want to come and see their stream for them. Let me find where I am. I'm going to say hello to you. Hello. So yeah, you want to see what they're doing. You want to hear them. You want to hear what they've got to say to you. So what I often find is, I should have turned that on really and add a bit of a brighter light to you. Hello, shiny head. So basically what you want to make sure is that your microphone volume, whichever one your microphone's coming through at, peaks around the top end of this sort of yellow bar. You don't really want it to go into the red, because that's like quite deafening. And you don't want it to be too low, because just have a play around with these sliders. Like I've put that down there and it's really low now. But like, just play around with your volumes, and you want your volume for your voice, your vocal voice, to come out on top of everything else. And the game audio, so my game audio is this one here. I turn team chat off quite a lot of times unless we're in a big team game. And what I try to stick to is, if I look at these fader bars here, I try and have the game volume around this audio mark here. And now that's not too loud that it's deafening, but I can, this is me speaking softly now, and my volume's it's lingering around this area until I'm like, if I'm speaking really quiet, if you look at my mouse cursor here, it's lingering around this area at a quieter volume. So I want to make sure that volume is being heard more than the game volume, because you can often get lost in translation with that. So I always try and tend to have obviously, if you see this volume here, when a game's playing, I'll load up a game soon and I'll show you actually in the Streamlabs bit. So this is the volume bit I was on about. If I go into that there, let me just go into this area. And if you see here, the volume is so high that I have to turn it down to around here, where it sits here with the volume of the bullets. It links around the end, and that gives you both game audio and you're coming through clearly, and I can hear what you've got to say, because that's most important, is I can hear what you're saying. And with that being said, I believe that is my very short introduction to how I've set up my Streamlabs and what you should do basically in the sound settings, because sound to me is the important thing, and I feel like every time I go into my friend's stream, I'm like, I can't hear you because of the volume, and it's always this. I mean, you can turn up your earpiece or anything like that. You can have that as loud as you want to hear it. You can hear the game volume far more than anything. This is the output of your stream, and this is what people are going to hear. So you want to make sure your volume is higher than the game volume, because that's going to be horrible. And I feel like that's the biggest stress of getting the stream going, other than these horrible, scary things here. However, like I said, have a play around, see what works best for your PC, and hopefully I'll catch some of your streams one time. Thanks for stopping by. Hollywood Gaming out.